We're live.
And we're live.
We're live.
Hold on, I haven't got any paper to jangle around.
Unmuted. Recording.
And we're live. Been professional.
Perfect transition. It was seamless.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, man, I'm in space. All right, we already got comments coming in. I better get on it. There we go. Hello, good evening, everyone. I have Stevie's apple juice from the weekend that he left in the van.
Wasn't it Aaron's?
Sealed. I don't think so.
You know what else I left in the van for the 5th time now? Those jeans.
Yeah, those jeans.
I was at work and I was like, damn, I left those jeans in the van again. For like the 3rd time.
I can't remember who I agreed to give it to between you and Stevie, so it's basically fight to the death over it. I think they're for you.
Yeah, I've only got 3 pairs of skinny jeans. I do need one more.
I should put them on the stream and show you the issue. I shouldn't do that. They're
Where's the issue? Have you crapped in them?
I'll shoot my pants.
I'll put them on massively turd stain down the back.
Yeah, but you can't tell because they're black jeans, so it's okay. It's just
okay.
a problem.
Anyway. Speaking of turd stains, tonight's
Good evening, everybody. I hope you're all well. Tonight we have with us Sasha Brennand, all the way from North Devon, who we had the fortune of playing with this weekend in Ilfracombe at the Sandpiper. So hi, Sasha, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Pretty tired still, but keeping going.
Have you fully recovered from what turned out to be quite a wild weekend?
Just about. I think my singing voice is still a little bit ropey, shall we say. My falsetto's completely gone. So it's good job I don't have to do anything again till Thursday.
Agreed. yeah, my voice was gone the moment we started drinking, I think. I've just spilled my drink all over the computer, so if I disappear, I've probably been electrocuted. Yeah,
they're made
so
for that.
what?
That's why it's in a case.
Yeah, that's why it's got water coolers and stuff. I know what I'm saying. I wish it'd just go through the fan and just go back in my mouth, but sadly it's not the case. Yeah, so Sasha, we brought you on. We're going to ask you a few questions this evening. We've got a lovely group of people who tend to tune into this show. So I'm just going to quickly catch up and say good evening to Aaron. Hope you're well, sir. And Marie, hope you're also very well. And the dancing cat is absolutely fantastic. Agreed. And Aaron, yes, the weekend was fantastic. Really enjoyed it. Always enjoy a good show up in Ilfracombe. Seeping into my socks.
You always get a bit too drunk up in Ilfracombe.
There's never such a thing as too drunk. Well, I think we got to the right level and then maybe a little bit beyond.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. We got pretty drunk. It was pretty good.
We were going to steal a boat drunk.
Well,
and even though there was where the boats were, there was no water.
Aaron made a really good point that it would be much more impressive, and I feel like the owner couldn't even be mad if we were to steal a boat in a completely dry quay, which I do agree with. I don't know what his plan was particularly. I didn't really understand what he was saying.
Rightly, didn't he want the 4 of us, not including him, to go down to the beach and carry the boat?
Oh, that was right. The fucker, he wasn't going to do it himself. He wanted us to do it, I think. And then he tried on his own and had no luck because obviously it's chained down. Turns out I've got liquid just dripping onto my leg. I'm going to have to hand over to you fairly early here, man.
Sure.
I got to sort this out real quick.
Sure.
It's horrible. I'll be right back, guys.
Okay, good luck. Okay. Well, normally, because we normally have bands on, we normally ask where they get their name from. But obviously...
I wonder.
Yeah. So if you want to start there, where did you get your name from? Why are you called that?
It's actually quite a funny story. So my mum is a diehard football fan, and this is going to become clearer later in the story. and she's a massive fan of our hometown team, which is Burnley up in Lancashire, and decided that if I was a girl, she wanted to call me Claretta, and if I was a boy, she wanted to call me Blue. My dad very quickly vetoed both of those ideas. And he actually wanted to call me Alexandra after the last Tsaress of Russia. And Sasha in Russian is a pet name, like a nickname for Alexander or Alexandra. And my mum was also a massive fan of the DJ Sash, so that's how I got my name.
Here we go. There's always a story. I always thought that. I don't know why I'm called Callum. Always just thought. So, what made you get into music? I guess because you do music in covers, and started doing your own thing now. What was your big get, like head start, or think which made you feel like I could probably do singing and that?
Yeah, so kind of I've always been doing some sort of kind of performing artsy type thing. So I actually started as a dancer and then got into musical theatre, started singing there. And it wasn't until I moved to North Devon and saw the kind of level of music scene there is around here that I thought, actually, you know what, that's what I want to do as a job. So then started up the covers project and stuff like that, started going in that way. And then kind of decided that I wanted the ability to be able to go out on my own. So then picked up a guitar, which I only did about 2 years ago. And just decided that I wanted to be able to write my own stuff, play, have a bit more freedom with it, really. Just kind of get anything out that I want to say rather than what other artists have wanted to say.
Always good. Always a good way to go about doing things. And did you find it hard finding people for a covers band which you gel with, or is it more of a? Is it always been the same people you have, or do you normally like cycle through them?
No, I've been in a couple. It was kind of interesting. The first one just kind of happened out of people I met at open mics. The bands that I'm in now, one of them was a house band for a jam night I used to run. And kind of we'd gone, right, who's coming to these jam nights, who's kind of, I don't want to say the best at each instrument, but who's going kind of above and beyond what we'd expect, and put a band together out of that. And that's the kind of heavy rock band. And then the commercial rock band was very much, they were all lined up before I joined, and their lead singer quit, and they kind of just asked me to come in, and that's how I ended up in that band. So I've always been really lucky that the players have kind of found me rather than me having to go out of my way to find them, which is nice.
Yeah.
Because everyone here is so lovely, as you guys know, like, they're just so welcoming and so nice.
Yeah, we never had it bad up there at all. It's even like the pub owners and and everyone you meet at the gigs are always really nice, and we always get people coming back, especially like at the Sandpiper, or when we see them at the Rocks Festival. It's always the same sort of bunch there, and they're always so nice and to everyone, I think.
Yeah, it's an absolutely lovely place to be a part of, is North Devon. I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity any musician gets down here, because there are so many of them.
So many. So I guess we could talk into something else I wanted to know was, what is the Devon scene kind of like? Is it a lot of places to play, or do you find yourself kind of numbered in where you can play?
There's so many places that do live music. Even if I just base it off open mics, if I wanted to, I could go to an open mic every day of the week. Up here, and there's multiple on different days.
Oh, it went crazy. We had multiple open mic nights on the same days.
Yeah. So literally, you can go and listen to live music or do live music every day of the week. I mean, last weekend, so I was gigging Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. So there's absolutely no shortage of places to play around here. It's quite magical, really, how much there is out there.
Awesome. We've so far we've only really experienced Ilfracombe, but I think we're looking at spreading the wings a bit and moving around different areas in North Devon actually. So we'll get in touch with you about that one, see where's good. Yeah, it's really really nice. Like I think just to echo what Callum said, like how friendly it is every time we go up to North Devon. We're trying to get a few more bands interested in coming up with us, perhaps, to play some shows because we always have a bit of a wild night there. It's always a good experience. And for us, it's like a really cool place where we can try out new things on stage as well. We often a lot of the Ilfracombe shows have been like the first time we've tried a new set maneuver or like a new set list order. Yeah, there's loads of stuff we try there because we've got such a friendly, welcoming audience who seem to just enjoy whatever we do. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So yeah, it's always good fun. We're going to get more bands up there, I think, but we definitely want to move around, start moving further west as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ridiculously organised when it comes to stuff like that. So I have a list of venues in North Devon. I also have a list of venues in Exeter and Exmouth and places like that. So yeah, I have them all ready to go. So if you do want them, just let me know.
Fantastic, we shall do. Thank you. I think so I was listening in while I'm 2.5 towels in, by the way. There's never that much in a pint glass, I swear to God, until it's just spread out everywhere.
Was it the whole pint glass as well?
Pretty much. I mean, this was full. I got wrecked.
You never spill like a half empty one, do you? You always spill the full one.
Yeah, I feel like they're better balanced when all the liquid's at the bottom, I suppose. Someone designed pint glasses right. They're easier to spill because it always gets wider at the top, doesn't it?
Yeah, it needs to be like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, I need like a vial or
a bowl, big bowl.
Like yeah, like some Breaking Bad utensils or something.
To be fair, I think tankards are pretty hard to spill. You can't spill a tankard.
That's true. I do need to get a tankard. I do have a tankard. I just don't drink from it. Why?
I've got like a moonshine one.
Oh yeah.
Damn shit.
Yeah, the old jars. They're pretty good. I like a jar. A drinking jar. It's not masculine actually, is it? It's kind of. I feel like most drinks that come out of those are like gin based.
We put whatever you want in it. Doesn't matter. You can put nails in it if you want to be manly. Just nails and molten lava if you wanted to.
I'll just drink oil.
Yeah.
Some WD-40, dude. Get those joints moving. Yeah. So what kind of, if you were to name sort of, I don't know, let's say regarding your original music, the stuff that you're writing that you're quite passionate about, you talked about the weekend. What sort of, I don't know, 3 or 4 influences that have driven you toward that?
I mean, I think it's quite a hard one, really, because I listen to so many different types of music and find inspiration from so many different places. Lyrically, style-wise, I like to tell a story in my lyric. I like what I want someone to do when they listen to my music is resonate with it. I want them to feel something because of it and relate to it. So in that vein, people are going to hate me for this, but Taylor Swift's very, very good at that. I don't like a lot of her actual musical choices are pretty simple, but lyrically, I don't think you can falter. So that's the kind of lyricist that I want to be. or try to be. And then musically, to be honest, it can vary so much. Like, in terms of broader musical influences, Queen are up there as kind of, in my opinion, one of the best British bands of all time.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think anyone who tries to dispute that is just lying to themselves.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely are. It's a big one for us. That for me as a frontman, Freddie Mercury's like, yeah, a big inspiration.
Yeah, so Queen are up there. I do quite like a bit of classic rock as well. So things like Boston, kind of Rockset, Deep Purple, though they're going into more the heavier side. But like I say, musically, I take from so many influences, and my kind of next step in my original stuff is I want to get an actual originals band together as well.
Yeah.
Because it's very hard to experiment with different genres just on an acoustic guitar.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know, I guess the good thing is you might have a head start. Writing stuff for acoustic often means it will translate well to a full band accompaniment, so that's always a win. But yeah, getting musicians around you to write music is like the hardest thing in the world. I think. I think there's like most things are easier than that for sure. Trying to get anyone to like write music, especially because a lot of it will be driven by obviously the singer. A lot of artists also want to have their inputs, but you might have a specific vision, so you get a bit of push and pull on that front. But yeah, it's very rewarding. So fingers crossed you get that going soon.
Yeah, hopefully. Like I say, it's the next big thing on my list. Because I currently they feel like pop songs, but I want them to feel more like rock songs because rock's the genre I personally enjoy the most.
Yeah. Well, you can go for like the pop song, like the hooks especially, is really good to have with a rock aesthetic. Like a lot of rock music's like that, I would say. Yeah, because it keeps those pop hooks in there, but then you add a bit of drive to the guitars. You can put some drums
Yeah,
behind it.
100%.
That'd be awesome. Nice. And have you got any sort of targets for that one? Do you know when you might be sort of looking to be ready to get a performance out there?
I mean, I kind of set myself long term goals. So I'm hoping by the end of this year will be kind of, I'll have that group of people together. We'll starting to kind of get something together for it. So hopefully early next year we'll be ready to kind of be performing and going out there and actually doing some original music, which
Oh
will
well,
be really nice.
that'd be fantastic. Keep us up to date. Obviously, we'll get a show on the road.
Yeah, 100%.
Nice one. Callum, I'll hand back over to you, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you're doing your covers, you said you took over from a pre-existing singer. Did you change the set list up for more like female fronted songs, or do you always just adapt to the male fronted kind of ones?
It's a bit of both. So there's certain songs from the set list that I kind of just went, yeah, no, I can't do that. Unfortunately, one of the things that I pride myself on as a vocalist is my ability to do quite low songs, but also high songs. But obviously, something like, for example, Blur, I'm not going to be able to sing a Blur song well. And I'm very honest about that. So, yeah, there was a few songs I kicked out, a few things I added in, just to kind of keep things fresh, because what I didn't want it to be is a carbon copy of the old band with just me now fronting it. I'm a firm believer of you've got to like what you're singing. So it was one of those where we both had to do a bit of compromising to get the set list we have together now.
And how long have you been working with the covers band? I don't know if you guys covered that or not yet, but how long's that been going?
So the Black Sands, which is my main covers band, has been about a year now. And then the other covers band, well, we've done one gig because I had to put the band together in a week. With our second gig on Saturday.
That's pretty good going. Fair effort.
Yeah, Verity messaged saying that the Sandpiper didn't have a band for the weekend. And asked if obviously my band could cover it, and I think our bassist was busy. And so they were like, well, can you put something together? And I'm like, I'll do my best. And somehow managed to put a band playing Iron Maiden, Deep Purple, and Led Zeppelin together in a week.
That's a fair old effort. That, yeah, I'd say really sort of enjoyed. I think I was vying more towards your original stuff just because I have a bit of a bias for original songs anyway. But your voice was really, I can see how it would suit that. That's really cool. And hopefully we'll catch you. Are you playing any of the festivals this year in North Devon?
Makeshift are doing Legends of Rock. So the Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, Maiden band are playing on the Saturday, I think.
Fantastic.
But yeah, other than that, it's sometimes a little bit harder with the Black Sands because there's two of us do music full time and two of us have normal jobs as well. So as you well know, if you've got to get up at 8 in the morning, you don't want to be gigging the night before.
Yeah, ideally not. Mind you, we've pulled off some shit on that front. I will say, for me, I can't. If we can do a show, I will literally do anything to make it possible. We sort of do that quite well between us, but yeah, it's we've had a few nights where it's been a bit like, what fuck. Get tired now.
Yeah, it's like I've got to be
done that.
got to be up at 7 tomorrow. You're going to work, you're just like.
Fortunately, a few of us are on the sort of Monday to Friday on the day job, so it's quite nice. Like the guys can sort of nap on the bus, you know. We've got the tour van, so the guys can sort of fall asleep quite comfortably, and sort of I never switch off, so I can drive home without them. Just listen to podcasts, you know. It's nice. Let them nap it off, boys. I think there's a bit of napping off after bloody Saturday night, to be fair. These boys, they were tired.
I could barely sleep still. I was still just like, you know, when you're still a bit wavy.
Yeah, man. I got about 3 hours, I reckon.
Oh, yeah, no, so I got woken up by a phone call from my daughter's dad being like, can I come pick you up in an hour to watch Jasmine all day before you run an open mic?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like,
Just
please.
Please, no. Please, gosh. Let me sleep.
Callum, back to you, mate.
B. Do you prefer performing songs or writing songs?
Oh, that's a tricky one. I've never really thought about it before. I think I really enjoy the writing process, but it feels easier to perform than it does to write. So, for example, performing in terms of the covers band, because I've been just singing for so long, that feels like so second nature to me now that doesn't kind of do anything. Whereas once I've written the songs, performing them is pretty terrifying. So I think in terms of out of the two, I love writing, absolutely love it. But performing them once they're written, I find performing covers easier.
quite like the sort of presentation after you've done all the work, isn't it? It's like it's kind of almost relieving, but it's the most scary version of relieving you can experience.
100%.
I'm the same. Like I love writing, but I think performing it once because obviously when you're forming a song, you don't really know what it's going to be till it's already finished. Almost you've got an idea, but then especially when you take it to a band, it could change direction. All sorts of things could happen. You could go down roads you don't expect. So when you're actually performing it, though, this is the song. This is what we've worked so hard to create, and now we're gonna have fun with it. That's what I like, because the performance for us is like, how do we embody that song and bring that to the audience, and how do we bring the audience into that sound and make them a part of it? For me, that's the best bit by far.
Yeah.
I've never written a whole song.
Yeah, I mean, I always find when you've played a new original enough times and people are starting to pick up on the words, there is nothing more satisfying than seeing someone singing back words you've written to you.
Do you know what? I had a moment like that on Saturday. We played a song we don't normally put in our set because it's one of the newer ones, and we've still got some things we want to do with it. So we played Hide, which is on our latest EP, Hero, and I for a moment I wasn't sure, because obviously it's a bit of a like I say, it's one of our lesser known tracks for sure. We've not got a music video for it yet. It's not been released as a single. It's like midway through the EP, so I was surprised how many people were doing all the woes in it and singing that. So it came to after the first chorus, and I was able to just let the crowd sing it for us, which was like pretty weird for me, because I didn't expect it. You know, it's not the known song, but yeah, that was a really fucking good moment. That felt cool. That felt awesome. We'll do that again.
Yeah, I could see the moment it clicked on your face. You were like, I'm happy now. That's
Yes.
it. I'm good. I'm good. That's this gig. Good.
It's so funny, isn't it? It's like that was definitely one of the peak moments for me in the set, but then there's, because of the way I think we formed the set and the different songs that we play throughout that have different levels of popularity, different kinds of energy. There's so many different places. I feel like we're at the top of a mountain, and then we're like chilling for a bit, and then oh god, we found another mountain top. It's a wild one, man. I love playing Ilfracombe, dude. It's so much fun. They're crazy.
That is very correct. That's very true.
Yeah, it's like for people who've never been up there's a venue called the Sandpiper. It's a very small kind of like pub venue for us, and it's so intimate that we can basically we can reach out and touch you. Essentially, that's how close we are. And there's no stage; it's all flat. The room gets hollowed out so we can put together like all the gear and everything. And it's the single most probably intimate kind of show we can do. And you know, that's the kind of show where I'll get in and dance with the crowd and dance with individuals in the crowd rather than just sort of performing from the stage. It's fun. It's cool. You can experiment there, and it's like a safe place to do so. You know.
And a bit
What's some of your favorite venues that you've played, Sasha?
Oh, I really like the Cobweb in Boscastle, which is more Cornwall based, but I think you guys would love it. It's about similar size to the Sandpiper, but it's very similar actually. It's a full-on rock pub, but it's like a 15th century pub as well, so it's got a load of character to it. There's like Halloween decorations up 99% of the year. It's amazing. And I always love going down there. The Palladium Club in Bideford's a lot of fun to play. That's it's one of North Devon's, I don't want to say proper music venue, but you know what I mean, like somewhere distinctly designed to be a music venue.
Dedicated stage.
Yeah. And they pride themselves on mainly original music. So that's a very fun place to play. Escape Down the Rabbit Hole in Barnstable, that's an outside courtyard gig venue. So you've got the stage and like a massive courtyard that you can just run around if you want to, which is a lot of fun.
That's very much our thing.
Oh yeah, I'm a firm believer. If I play a pub where there's not enough room for me on the stage, I'm like good because I'm hardly with the band anyway.
And we go. Cool. I'm just looking these up in the meantime as well. These look really cool. I think we need to get in touch with them. They look cool, man. I really like the vibe for the cobweb in actually. Yeah, like you say, very old style, very old timey. And a big Hovis logo on the wall.
Really nice.
I didn't expect that. That's cool. We'll check those out for sure.
Yeah, the cobwebs.
Have you had any sort of moving on from venues, I suppose, more to the actual show itself? Have you had any moments where you go, "Damn, this is what I want to do now"? Like, have you had any sort of real highlights from your shows that you can tell us about that stand out to you?
There's a couple. The main one for just music was actually a gig at a small village pub in Lankey at Halloween, and so it's a bit of a weird one because I always find as musicians, there's two reasons people do music. One of them is because they like the attention. The other one is because we're so innately insecure that we need people to make us feel better. And I class myself as the second type. So when I have a moment where I've kind of, obviously, it takes a lot of energy to do a gig. I don't think anyone who hasn't done one realizes actually how draining it is. But there was this moment, and it was a cover set, so I didn't really expect it. But we were doing Dakota by the Stereophonics, and we got to the bridge, and I just did the whole, let me hear you scream and let me hear you sing along and all that fun stuff. And literally, they were louder than the entire band with the PA. And there's a video of it, and you can literally see me turning around to the band and going, "Oh my god!" And it was just like, this is. I think as performers, it's kind of, or it's what I live for anyway. It's the seeing the joy on everyone else's faces and seeing everyone in that moment with you. Yeah. So that's probably one in terms of a purely music thing. The first time I had a moment in terms of performing where I was like, "Oh my gosh, yes, this is what I want to do," was actually in a musical I did in high school. We did Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. And yeah, I was the narrator. They'd split it into 3 parts because there aren't many female parts in that show. And it got to the last night of the last show, and it was my last show in high school as well. And literally just everyone stood up and screamed. And it was like, I like this feeling. I want this more often. And that was kind of, I'd always kind of enjoyed it, but that's the moment I kind of went, yeah, I need to be on stage in some capacity.
Absolutely get that. Yeah, I was about 11, I think, and did my first like drumming show back in the day, and it was just like they do in the area we had a place called the Music Factory, which prior to BAM or ACMR, if you're in our area, this was what that college was built on essentially. So yeah, the Music Factory did sort of summer workshops where you'd go in for 6 weeks. There'd be a bunch of different kids. It was like 11 to 16 years old. And you'd learn a few songs, and then we'd all perform it at the end. And I distinctly remember having to wear, because I was doing drumming and singing as well for 1 year, which was pretty wild, having to wear a leopard print dressing gown and bright red jeans and singing like David Bowie numbers and T-Rex and stuff. And I was like, this is really fun. I feel like it's a different version of me that I'd like to embody more, because like you're different when you're on stage to when you're off stage, right? And I was like, I want to be that me more often. I really like it. I want to interact with people more in that way, because although it's performative, it's kind of, I feel like it's really kind of almost more enjoyable because people already know what they need. It's like pantomime almost. They know what they need to do. They know their part. They're part of the performance.
Yes.
Whenever you go to a Regional One show, the crowd is part of the performance, which hopefully makes each show in its own way unique. But I was like, I really like doing that with people. Day-to-day interactions can get a bit boring, but this is quite fun. Let's do this. Yeah. I was like, yeah, that's essentially built my whole persona as an adult. Back to the point of how tiring it is as a musician as well. Fun one for people out there. Just reading here. According to BBC News, an hour of drumming, for example, burns more calories than running, aerobics, or weightlifting. And according to studies at Harvard and Oxford, drumming can also lower blood pressure and improve cognitive brain development, which is ironic because we kind of have the stereotype that drummers are the thick ones in the band, but they probably have the quicker brain. But yeah, so if you're looking to like hit the gym or something, maybe pick up an entire drum kit and annoy your neighbors because it's really good for you.
I like that.
Certainly tires you out like a. Yeah, I don't know what's more tiring though, because obviously you'll understand as a frontwoman, the strain is real. Like you have to, you're thinking about breathing for the full set. So you know what I mean? Like every breath is almost conscious when you sing. It's not like automatic anymore. You have to think, okay, can I get a breath in between these words, or is it going to be these words? Will I have enough power? So yeah, there's a lot of that going on. But I just thought that was a fun one.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, something I learned from the stage days, and I kind of carry it through with me now, is you do 110% of the work before a gig, and then throw it all out the window.
Yeah, got it. You can be as prepared as you like, but on the day it could be completely different.
Yeah. Every gig's different. And I also find, and this is probably quite a controversial opinion, but it's not just the actual set that's tiring. It's everything before and after, not like in terms of setting up and setting down, but the social side of gigging is as exhausting as doing a gig itself.
Yeah, extremely. I mean, I don't know about you, Callum, but pretty much, I'd say the majority of my social life is just now when we're gigging. I've got like a few friends and stuff that I still see, and we have like casual drinks and stuff. But when it comes to like partying or big time socializing, it's so intense doing it with the band, and we're doing it so regularly now. It's mainly that, and then when I want me time, it's either like chilling out in the evening watching telly or writing songs, obviously, but that's that's still band related, but or playing video games sometimes with the band. So it's hard to avoid me, boys. Sorry.
You don't really do much.
You're all stuck with him.
So, Callum hasn't spoken in a while. I'm so glad that was the line.
Well, normally, the only time I really go out is for a gig. Every now and then I go out with workmates. But that's not every time. Even then, that's normally for a gig as well. So it's the only time I really go out is for. It's related to a gig most times.
Yeah, I'd say that it's so all-encompassing because once you're doing it yourself, you also, I think it's fair to say this about any skill or talent that people pick up, but like you appreciate it in a different way. It's like people who make films look at films differently than people who are there just to watch it. I think going to gigs has only become more and more enjoyable for me personally, and since doing music more and more professionally. So you get to go and really appreciate, how much work they've put into the thing they're doing. And honestly, you can kind of tell when they haven't, and that's a whole thing in itself. But going along and appreciating it as someone who also is attempting to do that thing, I think it's so much. It feels like that's your family without even knowing them almost, because you know what they've gone through for like years and years before you've even met them.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm either the best person to go to a gig with or the worst person to go to a gig with.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a mood dependent thing.
If a band's put the work in, I'm the best person to go into a gig with because I will be like, these guys are really working hard, which is what I always do with you guys. But I distinctly remember going to my mum has a caravan on a holiday park locally, and they very obviously had the backing, like the full track in their ears, not like clicks, very useful. But this was like they had the full song in their ears, and they were out of time because they were trying to listen to the song, and it was horrible.
Yeah,
it was absolutely horrible. And then I'm the worst person to go to a gig with.
I totally know what you mean. I can be pretty, I can pretty sharply criticize if you can tell that someone's not put the work in, especially bigger bands now, like when they're charging nearly 100 quid a ticket as a standard. If I go see that band and it feels like they've not put the work in, I'm pretty like pissed off pretty quick because I mean the maximum we've charged for a show is like 10, 12 pounds, something like that. And I'd like to say out there, all of our time pretty much goes into doing what we do here. Like it's all encompassing. I don't have a single hour, probably, yeah, not even a single hour where I'm not thinking about something band related. And you see these huge bands, I guess they kind of get to a point where they take it for granted. Maybe they're tired. I don't know. But you turn up after paying minimum 100 quid a ticket and they're kind of a bit shit. Guns N' Roses are a prime example for a lot of people. Metallica having 2 slots at download, these kind of things where you're like, bloody hell, like, this is history we're meant to be watching. And, these are bands that our parents talk about and revere. Why are they doing shit? Why aren't they trying still? And it drives me up the wall, that. I've just had a question in from our good friend Marie. So she's asked, Sasha, can I ask what made you swap from performing in musicals to singing, or do you still do both?
So I haven't done a show. I did a pantomime last year, but before that, I hadn't done a show since I was 17.
Oh no, you didn't. Sorry, you can't not like. Sorry, go on. Totally ruined your train of thought there.
And
Intended effect.
I still absolutely love the idea of it, and that it's a very different feeling walking onto a stage as a character than it is as yourself. To be completely honest, the main reason I stopped doing musicals is because I didn't want to hide behind the character anymore. I wanted to do performing for myself, and the thing is, when you're playing a character on stage, if someone doesn't like what you're doing, you get to leave that character at the door when you walk out the door. When you're performing as yourself, it feels a lot more personal, and kind of anxiety as a thing is something I've struggled with for a long time, and it was kind of feeling like I could only perform as someone else. So then I just stopped doing that completely because I wanted to be able to go out and do it myself and feel comfortable enough in my abilities that I could do it without that kind of crutch. So maybe one day I'll go back and do another musical, but I think I want to be able to appreciate what I can do as myself. And while I was hiding behind a character, I couldn't really do that.
That's no, that's really interesting. That because obviously that kind of forces you to take a lot more responsibility in some ways as well. But it allows that creative freedom, doesn't it? But yeah, you kind of you'll get all the praise and all the criticism is directed at you rather than the whatever's been written. One of the other things, I guess, with shows as well, one of the things I personally found kind of frustrating with anything sort of musical related is a lot of the time all this work goes in. It can be 6 months, it could be a year of working out what's going on with this show, loads of rehearsals, everyone getting to know their parts, and then they'll do like a week and that's it. Whereas you've got longevity with your own stuff, it's nice to be able to continue it on and keep chiseling away and keep improving it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there was growing up, there was no worse feeling than when a show finished because you just felt like all the work you'd done was just done.
It's an achievement rather than something you can continually, improve on.
Yeah, 100%.
That's interesting. Thank you very much for that question, Marie. Very much appreciated. That's a good one. Callum, I'll send it back to you, sir.
It would be good if you could try and combine the both.
Yes. Actually, let's rabbit hole for a bit. Yeah, let's talk about theatre in performance because I think that's always an interesting one. We talk about it a fair bit, but one of the things, I mean, I think the last musical I did was early years maybe. I was a robot. I vaguely remember there's a VHS video for those out there who know what that is somewhere of this, and I had a little sparkler and it was really cool. And something about Stevenson's Rocket and the Romans. I can't remember the rest, but that's the last musical I did. But we actually, as a band, we go to musicals sometimes. But I've been going to a lot of musicals over the last few years. Like we've talked about it before, but the whole band went to see Shrek the Musical as like our little band treat this year, sort of start of the year thing. We tend to do something around sort of January, February all together. We go see a show. I think last year was Blackstone Cherry we went to see. This year was Shrek the Musical. It was quite different, and it
I
was fucking good.
I have seen they're doing a live orchestra and play of The Nightmare Before Christmas in London.
Oh,
They play, you know, they play
alright.
the songs to the film, and Danny Elfman is doing the vocals of Jack Skellington.
Shit the bed.
I think I might need to go to that.
Would be amazing. I think it's like it's at the OVO Arena. I think it's like the cheap tickets were like 62 quid. I think for like, you know, on the side, at the back.
Ah, good. They've decided it's a Christmas film.
Yeah, it's in
They've
December.
actually
Yeah,
settled on that.
yeah.
We've got a
Okay, good.
categorization for it now.
It's official.
No, it is a Christmas film. You can just also watch it on Halloween. It
Yeah,
kind of
absolutely.
also works on Halloween.
Yeah, that's why it's genius. So.
Yeah. Wait.
We're going to be doing a Halloween takeover, aren't we? But we can't say too much about it. But Bournemouth, be ready for a Halloween takeover. We're going to have some fun. So bear that in mind. If you haven't got plans, which you don't at this point in time because no one's that organised anymore, Regional 1 Halloween takeover down in Bournemouth. Let's fucking go, boys. But yeah, so when it comes to sort of back to the conversation of theatre, like I said, we all go to see theatre together. We've done a lot of this. And personally, I think it's really useful as a band to go and see that together. We get more ideas. Definitely, we start thinking about how we can incorporate more themes. Something we've done recently is written a bunch of tracks that go in between our songs. They're sort of like mood setters. They're intended
Yeah.
to give you an idea of the theme of the song, as hopefully you heard it at the weekend. Still sort of ironing out some bits on that, but I think so far the themes are really cool. They're interesting, they're dark, they're weird, and they're relevant to the song. So they give people a bit of a backstory that maybe they didn't quite get from actually just listening to the song. So in terms of theatrics, I suppose you say you're kind of quite energetic as a performer. Are there any sort of things that are your, I guess you've got any go-to movements you'll go to, and any sort of things that you think make you stand out as a front woman? Hard question, I know.
It is a hard question. The thing that I've been commented to most is definitely not being where I should be, as in like you think of a band and you think of the whole band together. As I've kind of said earlier in the chat, for me it's to a degree more about the audience than it is about us on stage. If I can make a memory for someone in that audience, that's what I'm going to do. So that's a big thing I do. I spend a lot of time kind of personally interacting with people in the audience rather than kind of being up on stage and kind of just chilling with the band, if you know what I mean. In terms of things I do, there are songs that I've kind of noticed I do like certain things to, like hair flips. Hair flips have been choreographed into the covers performance now.
Yeah,
Kind of like shoulder things, like dunna, dunna. I do that a lot. There's a lot of crouching. Like when you're going into a power note, ground yourself and go as low down as you can, because for some reason it helps.
It does. I think it does. I've got a few sort of power stances that are my. If I'm going up high, like we got our song "Smoke It Away." There's a particularly, well, there's a right fucker of a note in there. To be honest, it's right up in sort of mixed voice, and it's quite a powerful vocal note right after I introduce the band and that. So that one, I need either a wide stance or a low stance. I like foot up on something, you know. I can't do it stood normally. It doesn't ever work. If I'm stood normally, I'll bail. I'll just do something else. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean there. Well, this is to kind of say though, like for the people listening, this is all the level of thought that goes into it. You know, it's like this is stuff you might find yourself doing it completely naturally, but eventually you'll be like, hey, that was a cool idea. And this is the chiseling away over and over again, rather than the sort of one-off performance. I think that's personally why I prefer it, because you have that continuous improvement model always. And with theatrics especially, I mean, we're trying to get props involved now. We're learning about lighting systems. It's all bloody going on in Regional 1 camp, I tell you. But this is all the kind of stuff that you guys out there watching now and who come to our shows, you're helping us fund this. And we really, really appreciate that, because it's really kind of fulfilling what we think will be a pretty exciting vision for what we got in the future. But we can't do it without all the guys who come down and watch the shows and support. So thank you very much on that note. But when it comes to, I guess, I think we're going to talk more about the original band, just because I'm aware we've not got too long left. But with your original music, you say you sort of already mentioned the influences, but are you going to carry that into the full band sound, or have you got a few things that you want to work on? Have you got a vision in mind?
I think I'd like to carry them through, because I do like to make people think. I know you guys are very, very good at doing it. It's kind of the deep messaging and kind of points that you want to make, but it's not always obvious you're making those points.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main thing I want to carry through. I want everything to have meaning. So every lighting choice, every chord, every lyric, I want it to kind of be intrinsically linked to create this big picture.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the beauty of music, to be honest. I think that giving someone the ability to kind of step into your head and see what you're seeing is part of what makes music so special.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's a lot of people are kind of worried about the AI music, because I mean, I don't know about you, I've heard a lot of the sort of AI tracks, like Chester Bennington, obviously from Linkin Park, covering Bohemian Rhapsody, all that kind of stuff, right? And I just don't know. I mean, I was listening to a good podcast about this today, talking about AI, but there's sort of the belief that it's going to take over a lot of the creative spaces, which is something that people didn't really predict. We expected, obviously, any kind of automation tends to be, you sort of expect it to be the easier, less, I guess, thoughtful jobs. But AI is at this point learning to essentially replicate what we do creatively, or at least become a tool to facilitate that. So that being said, I wonder if it's ever going to be able to replicate that thing that I don't think anyone particularly can explain fully, which is that it's something innately human. We don't really know why. There are loads of theories. We don't really know why we like music so much and why we want to feel so involved in a live performance, especially the music lovers out there. Obviously, easy listening music's a different thing altogether, but like the hard listening stuff that you really want to get involved with, we don't really know what that is. I wonder how far AI is going to be able to do that. So that's not really worrying me, I don't think, as much as it was a few weeks ago, maybe. It's a bit of a ramble, but yeah, I think whatever it is that brings that full picture together, I don't think a machine's going to be able to do it for a long time yet. So hopefully we're in a job for a while, and hopefully you get to fulfill that, and we'll see it soon. Right? Yeah. I'm just going to quickly pop into the chat. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I think pop music might struggle for it. But anything kind of meaningful, shall we say, which some pop music can be. I'm just going to point that out because I don't want to be don't want to be slated later. But the kind of the stuff that actually makes you feel something, I'm not worried about any of that. But as we all know, some pop tunes, like the stuff they were playing in Queens,
Yeah.
is very questionable.
Well, there are a lot of theories that, I mean, a lot of it is algorithm based now. There are algorithms for writing pop music, so like writing hit songs. There's a lot of, from my understanding, that is something that is used. Certainly, it is within the mixing and mastering space. There are algorithms that do a lot of that now, but whether it's going to be, again, it's like having, it's the difference between going to a Weatherspoons and a family-owned pub, isn't it? I feel like people, they do it less often, but they much more appreciate the family pub. I hope so, anyway.
But Weatherspoons is quite cheap. And you know what you're getting in
Not if you
Weatherspoons.
go to the Ultracoon one.
Oh, yeah. Is it one of the mid or higher bands, isn't it?
It's no. If someone told me, so I don't know how true this is, but apparently Ilfracombe Weatherspoons is the most expensive Weatherspoons in the country.
Is it?
Because it's one of the few Weatherspoons that was built as a Weatherspoons.
I think it's got, it has some weird price brackets, I'll say that. It was like 0.76 and stuff like that. I didn't really understand what that was about.
That is weird, yeah. I always thought that was. But they do that with the food a lot of the time. A lot of the time, the pints will be either like $3.59 or, you know, like, or like the ales are normally like $2.79.
7.6? What?
But yeah, but the food, yeah, because the food was like, it was like $6.54 or something. It's like, what?
Yeah.
It's so weird. It makes you wonder if it is just a percentage. It must just be a percentage markup at that point.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just do everything 5% more, or, you know, or
maybe,
or less.
Yeah, we did go dirty and have a spoons for breakfast. Honestly, it kind of sucked though. I didn't taste it. I don't know if that's because of the fact I literally dissolved my tongue, but maybe.
The thing is with their sausages, they like deep fry their sausages.
Do they?
Yeah.
It tasted microwaved.
Yeah, no, probably deep
So did everything though. Like oxygen kind of tasted microwaved.
Deep fries the sausage.
Weatherspoons. It's quicker.
It's quicker.
That's atrocious.
Yeah.
That is
not a quality
atrocious.
choice. Yeah, I say we're pretty good on that normally because obviously we travel around a fair bit now, which is fucking awesome. That's another real benefit to doing the music. I've never probably would have ended up in Ilfracombe if it weren't for music. So we get to see some awesome, beautiful places. But I think we're pretty good at we do our best, like when we're traveling, we do our best to try and find like a family-owned pub en route. Do our best not to use the services for food if we can help it. And like we've done a few where we've had some fucking nice meals, man. We've had like, I can't remember which one it was, Callum. I'm pretty sure it was a Red Lion or something. It's something the Red Lion. We had there was this nice blue cheese burger, and it was like,
yeah, that was like that Canadian inspired one, wasn't it?
No, that's a different one again. That was
really good. No,
that was really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all about those like the little gems that you find. We've got to support them. It's nice. Really enjoy it.
Well, we normally
next time you're in Ilfracombe, go to the Hip and Pistol rather than Weatherspoons.
Okay. We've done a few all-you-can-eat breakfasts up there, but we're never up early enough anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to have like a midday breakfast.
There's always there's that strip, isn't there, where right before the spoons, where there's like the free breakfast restaurant-y place, isn't it? You know where the tea rooms is and that pasty shop is. There's loads of restaurant-y type places there, aren't there?
Yeah, we've got to.
Normally we're too late
because we only had an hour on the clock.
Yeah.
So yeah. We're a bit careful on that one. Just had a few comments. We'll catch up and then we'll call it a night. So quickly. So from Marie, we are looking at. I talk about it loads, as you know, but I love watching bands who put thought into how they're going to put things together. I love what you did the other week with the tracks. Oh, well, thank you very much. Yeah, that's I think that's quite a positive development on our end, and we're going to keep working away and improving those a bit before we finalize how they're actually going to sound and look. And Marie also says, is there a link to Sasha's page or Spotify or something so I can look at all? Could you share the link in the comments? Absolutely, we can. I'd love to hear some stuff. Have you got anything on Spotify yet, or is it just the Facebook page?
I haven't got anything on Spotify yet, but I am currently working on it. So within the next couple of months, I'm planning to release 3 songs I've got ready to go.
Cool. Have you got a release strategy sorted for those?
What, sorry?
Have you got a release strategy sorted? Give us a shout if not, we can help out with that stuff.
Yeah, that'd be helpful, actually.
Well,
but yeah, so there's some stuff on the Facebook page, kind of got quite a few videos from Saturday and other things to go up there that I haven't quite got round to doing yet. When you're doing full-time music and it's kind of covers, originals, open mics, it's chaos. It's sheer chaos. So yeah, I've got a few jobs that I'll be doing over the next couple of days to get some more original material uploaded, which will be fun.
Fantastic. And with that in mind, other than Facebook, where can people find you currently, or the bands?
So I've got Instagram as well, which is just Brennand 1998, because I'm a firm believer of keep things simple. My Snapchat's the same, where I kind of share some teasers of anything I'm working on as well. Keep that all updated fairly regularly. So it's just kind of all your mainstream social media, really. And obviously, always up for any suggestions, comments, improvement ideas. We can all learn from each other. I'm a firm believer of that. And yeah.
Nice one. Well, as you mentioned before, we should be playing alongside you or sharing a stage at the Ilfracombe Legends of Rock 2024. For anyone watching, I've put a link earlier on in the chat, so give that one a look out. That's a fantastic festival. We've played a few times now, and every time it's so much fun. The stage is proper. It's nice. And yeah, everyone there's super friendly. If you're looking for somewhere where you want to meet some new friends who are into our kind of music, this is a good one. There's also the Bridgeport show, Freshwater Beach. Yes, are you playing at that one?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully next year. But guys, check out Freshwater Beach. We really, really want to get that one going. Want to get the tickets through the door on that show. So if you can make it, that's going to be fantastic. It is called Ready to Rock Festival. However, our next show I will talk about in just a moment. Sasha, do you want to tell us where your next shows are, where people can see you?
So I've got a gig in Fremington next weekend. Gig in Ilfracombe the weekend after. I've got a couple of shows being lined up for kind of Bath, Breen. So kind of starting to stretch my legs out a little bit and get some new places. So that should be fun. But yeah, it's just keep a lookout. Mainly doing local shows in the next couple of weeks, but definitely looking to get further afield and maybe even come and try and get a gig down your guys' way, and then catch you on the other night or whatever, and just make a weekend of it and see some new places.
Well, we know a few people who may or may not hopefully be in touch who might be watching right now. So if you know who you are and you're looking for an act, let us know. Cool. Our next show, guys, where you can catch us is Rocksoft Festival. We are making a trip up to Norwich. This is at the, I believe it's the Brickmakers and B2 in Norwich. So if you can make it, please do come down. This is going to be a fantastic day, or well, it's an all-day rock festival. What more can you ask for, honestly? There's She Burns Red. There's the Hot One 2. There's A Priori, Regional One. There's loads of bands. I think there's like 10 or 11 bands. So if you can make that, come down. It's dead cheap. Ticket link is in our link tree in the bio. So if you can make that, do it. Let's go. It's going to be pretty wild, and we hope to see you there. That is on is it the 5th of May, Callum? I think it's the 5th of May. Yes,
5th of
Sunday,
May.
the 5th of May.
Yeah.
No one's busy on a Sunday.
Day after,
so come on down.
The day after Star Wars Day.
It is the day after May the 4th. May the 4th is very special to me. I told you about that, I think. Anyway. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, Sasha. It was fantastic to share a stage with you at the weekend. You played fantastically. Your voice was immaculate. It was a great night. And the party was so much fun after. I think we all had a good time. So it was pretty fun. We should have talked about the accommodation, Callum. We'll save that for another time. That was a wild place to stay. That was holy shit. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. What's that, sorry?
Should you have taken up the B&B?
Oh, we had a hostel. It was wild.
With a wonky floor. The floor was so wonky.
The floor was downhill and it was freaking me out because I was wrecked.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, thank you guys for watching this evening. Completely derailed myself. Thank you all for watching. If you're watching from the future, hello from the past. We appreciate it. And hopefully we'll see you at the Brickmakers up in Norwich on the 5th of May. We'll catch you all soon. Thank you. Bye.
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 It's over.
Nice one. Yeah, that was good. That was a good stream.
Oh.
Good stuff. Hopefully Maria will be in touch.